Hello there, commanders, and welcome to another match in the National Cup tournament. We are again on Rubicon. I think this is the fourth Rubicon we see in fifth match, so teams definitely very like Rubicon. But I just might have lost count, and maybe it isn't fourth time, maybe it's the third time. But I did definitely see it multiple times already. Anyway, battle between Russia and Poland. Russia, the blue team. Poland, the red team, although it is reverse on the Y here. I mean, it's still red, still blue, right? But usually have blue on the left and red on the right, so that may be a little bit confusing, but just don't pay attention to that. Blue, Russia, red, Poland. Now, what are both teams up to? The first thing that really jumps onto you is that Russia brought only melee units, not a single ranged unit, not a single cavalry, just pure infantry. Poland has opted for a more flexible composition, bringing repeating crossbows, one ranged player and one cavalry player. Let's see, what is it? Scipio cavalry. Okay, Russia is heavily pushing point B. That is an uphill struggle and you're going into darkness, but well, Poland is also in darkness in here. Let's see, front lines look okay here, but Russia definitely has a huge advantage over here, and they will be able to make their way onto B quite quickly, and the healing zone is definitely going to be denied. So Russia just committing, I don't know, 5-6 players maybe to this flank is definitely going ham on the Polish team. Yeah, they have only 2 players in here, nothing committed to C, so they're giving that up for free. So if they have 2 players here, I have calculated that they must in fact have 6 players in here. Those 6 players are definitely going to capture B quite quickly. They are already on top of B. B is being captured. Wow, that is actually a big mistake on the Polish side team, and very well played on the Russian side, because there's still 6, 7, 8 units of the Polish team here in the area, but none of them, well, now maybe 2, are on top of the point. So we'll see how that goes. But Polish team is also launching a mirroring attack here on D. They're already contesting it. Repeating crossbows are doing quite a good job supporting the melee engagements. We'll see who will be able to capture it faster. Polish team is also denying the healing zone. Once that unit is surrounded, well, will it rout? It will not rout. 7 morale left. See how the Russian do. The Russians are much more effective. Just pure infantrymen, just pile on, just look. All the flanks are being applied. Units are being held outside of the point. Just this massive blob, swarm of Russian infantry is capturing. Just look how quick the capture goes with this many units. So they're already recalling to the base while capturing B. Poland, 1 last unit left. They will cut it down, chase it down. Oh, it unrouted. At all, the fastest unit on the Russian team will be the Foxman, but the Polish team has 3 units here on C. They'll take it essentially for free. They are about to capture D as well. There we go. 1 last unit that was defending it is now cut down. 1 of them still alive. 2 of them actually alive, but held outside of the point. So the Russian may have taken over B over here, and they have killed a lot, so they are kind of ahead in XP at the moment. But it is the Polish team that will control 3 out of 2 points at the beginning. So the Polish team is actually set up for success here, but we'll see how that goes further. Let's remember that the Russian team was faster in capturing their flank, so they will be faster to also come back to C. And the Polish team is. They are just now healing over at D, while the Russian team is already healed up and teleported. They didn't even really need to heal, yeah. Their victory over there was so convincing that they barely lost any HP, which makes them faster. They are first to the move on to C, but Poland is already there and waiting for them, but they will be heavily outnumbered. The cavalry, I mean, what they can do? They can charge some barbarians in the back, and that's about it. They won't really care. They're trying to heal up, but the healing is denied. Some forces have been teleported back and attack C frontally. Some of them remain over B and attack C now from that angle. The Polish team is going to respond in kind. They are actually going straight for the Russian base. Now maybe sort of changing their mind. They're hesitating about this move. C is now being held. but Russian team is managing to find individual routes here and there, pushing through. They do have two barbarian players, and I think those are Hannibal spears, Hazardball actually. I think they do have Hannibal as well. Maybe I'm mistaken. Anyway, I'll get rid of that pointless UI. We're also still being held by the Polish team. They have decided against going inside the base. I mean, they're still committing 1 or 2 units, but that doesn't really matter. They have decided to attack C from behind. Let's see if they will even make it in there. Foxes are holding the spears. They have hamstring available to them. Deny them any possibility of... Damn, that's a fast unit. There we go. It is disrupted by another unit of Foxmen. And the repeating crossbows will be able to shoot at the blobs. But just because there's so many melee units on the Russian team, they can just constantly disengage one unit by one and keep committing them and just force the repeating crossbows away. The repeating crossbows will not be able to do much, even despite the lack of cavalry on the Russian team. Just the sheer amount of infantry is able to exert so much pressure. The ranged units are not really going to make much of a difference. And as you can see, C is already largely under the control of Russia. Only 3 units of the Polish team sort of still contesting. It is not going to last long. This unit is refusing to rout. Rear flank is applied, but other than that, not much. There we go. Right and left flank now applied. The rear has been dropped, but doesn't matter. -7 morale in the end will be enough. That it is routed. And now only 1 Polish unit still contesting the point. And I don't expect that unit to last for long as well. Healing zone completely denied. Polish team unable to heal. The repeating crossbows also denied any access to the main fight over here. They're just being kept away by the melee units being sent over. And yeah, sure, they'll die, but it doesn't really matter. All of the Polish units on top of C died as well. Cavalry has respawned over here at C. They'll try to make the raid up of C. They're still in control of C, and now they're not. The cavalry was too late to charge in to contest. And just in that brief second, already like 40% has been captured just by how many Russian units are on top of here. So no healing zone for the Polish team over here at C, which means definitely a huge advantage to Russians now, as they are very largely in control. There are no Polish reinforcements in sight. Only the range units survive, but I mean, without infantry support, they are not going to achieve much. They cannot really finish off the units in here, so the Russian team is going to preserve their XP as well. The cavalry charges in. If they use Warcry, they can rout some of the wavering units, but not if they rout themselves, because if the unit that uses routes itself, the Warcry drops. There we go. Russian team definitely heavily ahead. They lost only 2 units. Everything else will be able to preserve XP and heal up now at C, unless Polish team will be able to deny it. But the repeating crossbows are definitely completely separated from the entire team, not able to achieve much. They won't be able to deny the healing. Polish team is trying to squeeze past here, trying to get some melee units on top of that healing zone. They're sending the units from D. Yeah, they may be a little bit too over commitment, but the Russian team is going to fix that mistake for the Polish team on their own. They're sending 6 units now to face the 2 remaining units out of 4. Yeah, so again, I think we're seeing the same pattern. The Polish team is a little bit behind on the play, but I think they have also just been outdrafted. Like, you literally just pick all infantry, and what can the ranged units do? Not much. What can the cavalry do? Not much. What can the infantry do when you have 6 more infantry units? Right? But yeah, sure, people will tell you that it is ranged meta. Yeah. So anyway, let's continue and see how that evolves, because the teams are pretty much dead equal in terms of points, as the Polish team was the first one to capture a point, or to capture 3 points for a while, even though the Russians were the first one to capture a side point. There we go. Now the Polish team is trying to utilize their cavalry for flanking and for routing with Warcry. We'll see if that works. 2 units of infantry versus 2 units of infantry, but obviously Poland has 3 units of cavalry to support. C is going a little bit equal, but there is a blob of Russian infantry just healing up. They will be able to pour into C, and yeah, that's how much Polish team will see of C. There we go. One flank, 1 unit has been routed rather. so it will be able now to be cut down. War cry about to expire. They will flip back to not routing, and now they're routing again, as reflank has been found. Just 1 unit left, but this one is in oath. Even all flanks and a war cry. I don't think it would be now, depends on who flanks. But there are no barbarian units in there with the increased morale damage. So yeah, that unit is rather not going to rout. It will hold, and it's still 17 or 69 soldiers left. Nice. And here the Polish team is now being completely surrounded by the swarm of Russian infantry that has just healed up and just cycling in. The units that have suffered some damage are retreating, healing up, and the units that have healed up are replacing the ones that need to run away. And the repeating crossbows, yeah, sure, they're leaving some damage, but they're just being chased around by infantry, and there's no Polish infantry to hold the line for them because they're just too occupied with holding the infantry, but they're just outnumbered literally everywhere. The Polish team is also now losing control of the point has already been flipped, and the 6 units that the Russians sent are obliterating the 3 units that the Polish team had here, but they had more actually, but they have already died. They had 2 spear units, I believe. Now the folks must have respawned in here and try to defend the point, but they are also failing to do that. Poland will eventually get it here. Oh, this unit dropped the oath. So the Polish team must have disengaged. Oh, that's a 200 IQ big brain move, and they're already sending 3 cavalry units over to E, as they're expecting these units to win, and that is surely what happened. So the Polish team is looking to get into the battle that way. Take B quickly, and once it flipped, immediately capture E, as the Russian team has committed 0 units, and they do not have a single cavalry unit that could quickly go there. So the Polish team is now using the advantage of mobility to their own advantage, and they may be able to actually capture E. We'll see. It still will take a while for them to capture B, and only B capture enables the capture of E, and the Russian team must have realized what is going on. They realized that the cavalry hasn't been seen for quite a while already. It has been seen disengaging from B and going in the direction of E, but they decide maybe to just not go there. I mean, the cavalry can just use 1 unit to delay the infantry, and it will be captured anyway. So Russian team instead decides, oh, there you go, they have 1 player that was dead to go to E, so that was the plan. But they are also deciding to attack A. We do have pike unit and a spear unit over here fighting 3 melee units of Russians. Poland is sending 3 units of reinforcements, but the pikemen have been routed. Maybe the same can happen. That is long as though. Hold the line is active for still quite a while, maybe half a minute. So it will be able to hold definitely for the reinforcements to arrive. But the Russian team, seeing all that, says, yeah, sure, you can try taking it. I mean, you'll fail anyway because we have spears and you have cavalry, so goodbye. And now Russian team, despite winning quite convincingly, they just want to exert 1 final flex onto the Polish team and just capture their base. We'll see if that can stop teleporting my camera. So yes, Russian team are looking for the 1 final flex, 6 units versus 3 inside the Polish base. They do have repeating crossbows in a very nice position to just fire and fire and fire. We'll see if the damage that they exert will actually be useful. They are literally in a perfect position. There's no threat on them because there's no cavalry, so they can just run away from everything. But if they are forced to run away, they obviously cannot deal that much damage anymore. The Polish team is looking to keep A under their control. B is obviously not attacked by Russians at all. 1 unit is being sent over there to start contesting, and 1 unit is being kept on E to prevent any sort of backcapping attempt from the Polish team if they wanted to try that again. But cavalry is now occupied inside the base, trying to provide the numbers. 7 units versus 6 inside the base, and 3 more looking to come in. That's a huge scorch of in here, but dealing no damage at the moment, as soldiers have wisely disengaged and nobody really got locked up in there. 8 units for the Russian team, more and more coming in. Poland may look for some counter-attack over their path. I wouldn't be so confident to launch any kind of counter-attack when your base is pressured that heavily by an infantry-only team. So the Polish team is defending their healing zone, but by doing so, that also makes sure that there are no reinforcements coming in. There's a huge blob over here, blob fight over here, but the Polish team can definitely find their way inside the base. 10 versus 6, So the capture is going a little bit fast, but the Russian team looks like they are running slowly out of the steam, and the perfect position for the repeating crossbows is definitely paying off. Just look at all those rear volleys they are able to find into that blob of infantry. So yeah, that is definitely going to be useful, and I don't think that base capture will go through for the Russian team, but that also means the Polish team cannot really do anything else on the map, and it's still now 11 versus 3. Polish team is still not finding more units inside the base, so that base capture is now looking quite promising. Already 2/3 through, 11 versus 5 units inside the base. Polish team really needs to start reacting. Okay, these 4 units over here are closely depleted, and the Polish team obviously has the access to the healing zone, so they will be able to replenish. Now 3 units of Polish infantry are being held ahead of the base. 11 to 6, 10 to 6. The base is very, very close to being captured. Oh, no, yeah, okay, yes, I will definitely stay inside the base, contribute as many as possible. 10 versus 8, 11 versus 9. It is going extremely, extremely close. 11 to 11. The capture has been stopped. 11 again, 11 to 10. Ooh, this is getting close. Polish team has finally realized that they need to put the units inside the base. And finally, the damage over time that the range units have committed, they finally paid off to something. But Russian team is 600 points ahead and sitting conveniently on 3.3 points per second. As B is contested, yeah, this isn't just one unit, it's 1 versus 1. And in that case, well, Caesar versus Sula. Sula is slightly winning, but it doesn't matter. A fight like that will last for a very, very long time. Nobody else is really interfering in that. Cavalry can be sent over there now that the base capture have been denied. But holy shit, that was close. So yeah, the Polish team can send cavalry over to B to stop the contest. Looks like they are sending 1 unit over there and 2 units over to E, but they will definitely not capture that. They can use the cavalry though to chase down the Russian units that are trying to retreat from the base after the failed attempt, to make sure they lose their XP. The Polish team gets more XP for finishing off units and also puts them on cooldown. They either need to respawn or go to a healing zone and bring back the units with the other remaining ones. So the Polish team has managed to kill a little bit of the Russian units, but not that many. 1 player completely dead, 3 other units from 2 other players dead. That is definitely not much, so the Polish team didn't really capitalize on the failed base capture attempt that much. But now C is being contested, 2.2 points per second for the Russian team. This is 2 for the Polish. Polish is now going to contest E, so only 1.1 point per second for Russians. B is no longer contested, the unit has been pushed out and will probably soon be silent and routed, and they will be able to heal and push forward. And the XP advantage is now kind of flipping maybe for the Polish team. There is 1 Fox unit with rank 4. Other than that, it's mostly rank 2 across the board. Now repeating crossbows fighting some damage into the infantry blob over at C. But Polish team just doesn't have enough infantry to hold a coherent front line, and the Russian team can just exert pressure. And yeah, sure, you can use 1 infantry unit to block 1 infantry unit, but well, Polish team is going to run out of melee units eventually, while the Russians have 6 more. So they keep finding gaps in the Polish team front line, and if they find, that opens an opportunity for flanks or to push away the ranged units. And the ranged units, yeah, sure, they can shoot and provide damage, but as long as they are not finishing off units, as long as they're not putting pressure in contesting C, I don't see the Polish team winning this battle. And also, well, Rangers just can't do that. So the front line is now more or less equal between Poland and Russia over here, but Russia is fighting conveniently and confidently on the Polish side of the map, and just away from the point, just get us those sweet 3.3 points per second towards our victory. 2,500 points already secured to only 1,900 for the Polish team. But it's still equal, like for the most of it is just 3 points versus 2 secured by either of the teams. Poland also had 3 points secured for a little while. so they did manage to get a little bit of points during that. But Russia is slowly, but definitely very, very surely going towards the victory. And they also do have rank 4 units on their own side as well. So the XP advantage doesn't really look that sweet for the Polish team, if there is one in the first place even. Okay, now the Polish team is trying to decide what to do with their cavalry mobility advantage, but with melee infantry being left on top of each point, any kind of backcapping is not going to work. They can only use that to transition units quickly from one flank to the other, trying to find a base, well, not base capture somewhere, but a point capture somewhere. If the Polish team would be able to contest something and capture something, then they still might make it to work and make their way back into this battle. But the melee infantry, well, the Russians have 6 more melee infantry. It's 100% of infantry versus only 75% of the team being heavy infantry. So yeah, or just infantry for the Polish team. So that additional 25% of infantry for the Russian team is working wonders. They're still contesting B. They sent over a few new units. One of them is about to die, but another one is about to make their way through. Let's see if they can make it inside a point. It is Sula, so no charge, but they're just right-clicking. Yep. Once inside, there we go. Right-click on the enemy unit and start fighting inside. B contested. No points for the Polish team for B. A is not being contested as the Polish team has managed to stop the Russians ahead of the point. Charge here to stop the Volksmen. Volksmen could still just pull through, but they decide against. They want to fight. Cavalry is in there, but it is surrounded by infantry. Well, okay, not surrounded, but it is being stopped. So A is not going to be contested, but Russian team only less than 300 points away with 3.3, just about 1 minute until the battle is over. Can the Polish team contest D? Nope, not even close. The infantry has stopped the Polish infantry in its tracks, not getting anywhere close. The Russian team again attempting a base capture with 1 unit going just, I don't know, it's probably just to flex even harder on the Polish team to deny the healing zone over behind the base. Polish team is getting some reinforcements, healing up units over at A. So the Russians are not going to get in there, not going to contest that, but they're contesting B. 2.2, E is being contested, cavalry has been sent, just a standoff, saying hi to each other. So contesting the points, so the Russians are now getting 2.2 points per second rather than 3.3. So their victory is going to be delayed ever so slightly, but still quite a convincing victory for the Russian team, other than at the very, very beginning of the battle, where the Polish team managed to secure 3 points. They didn't really look as if they were in any position to lose, and they also quite confidently took C, as they had a huge infantry advantage. They were faster on the rotation from B, recall to the base, go to C. The Polish team didn't recall, they took longer to capture D, they just walked over there. They already had forces at C, obviously, right, because they captured in the first place. But the Russian swarm tactic, Zerg tactic, you can even call that, proved superior. And there we go. Yep, repeating crossbows, shooting race shield units. Yep, definitely very useful. Range meta. Oh, there we go. A victory for the Russian team. They're leading the battle 1-0. The match 1-0. We'll see what the second map is and if the Polish team can find a time, but at the moment it isn't looking good for them. They need to definitely reach some conclusions, get some feedback from this battle, and maybe they'll change their composition for the next one as well. But we'll see that in the next video, and until then I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders.